Right. I mean, I think that what we've seen from Space Station is a very strong showing, not just 1, 2, or 3. I mean, they have shown basically throughout this entire season that they are the top team in North America. And maybe they have dropped a few games as of recently, but still, the history of this team just in this season alone lends me to believe that Space Station are going to come out victorious in this series. But to your point, you never know what the Peeps have in store, and I'm certainly not going to sleep on them.
Well, Arsenal waiting for that ball to be put into him, and this challenge will be Space Station's. Reynolds gets it with a lot of space and just trying to force more pressure here against the Peeps. AJ caught the ball out, but it took him a little while to get there. Gyro making sure that he didn't give the ball up to Typical, rather got it over him. Well done by the Peeps on defense. They stopped the first Space Station possession and maybe get one of their own. Aleutian dumped it down, broken up by Reynolds. Pretty good for the Peeps so far. Gyro will carry that close. And the Peeps looking pretty decent there, but they're forced back into a retreat now against Space Station. Oh, the demo.
Flip reset.
Wow. That was crazy.
That was so close for Arsenal, especially with the demo coming through as well. That was a wild flip reset. Instead of going under, he came out with the front of his car and still got the touch. Said Jorby very even here in the beginning. The Peeps. AJ and Aleutian trying to find the back wall. They do, and Typical pokes it free. It's wide open for Typical, and that will send Space Station into the lead.
And how did this sneak through Aleutian? The ball was popped a little high up, and Gyro took the challenge. Pretty risky, and AJ was retreating with no boost anyway. Everybody on the Peeps had committed everything that they had to try to force that ball forward. They got punished for it with a goal for Space Station.
I don't think Gyro expected Arsenal to just slam it off his own back wall like that, and he got beat for it. Typical almost getting a second one there. Arsenal waiting patiently. His time to shine here as he gets a second touch, or his first touch. He wanted a second touch, instead lands and bumps the goalie out of the way. Now Aleutian AJ, 2v1. That shot goes wide, and now it's up to Reynolds on the dribble. Teams trading blows here. Reynolds going to go for the bump of the last man. The Peeps dive for it. They make the save.
Well, that was dangerous both ways. First, the Peeps tried the old, all right, you send the bulldozer, and then Space Station did the exact same thing. It was a little harder to get the bump for Space Station, but now they got the ball back and just continuing to pressure the Peeps, forcing them laterally. They're going to need more touches like that from Aleutian if they want to relieve this pressure. That's still Space Station's ball. Typical, he's going to get over AJ pretty easily, and that's going to give Arsenal the next chance at it. But even still, like Arsenal, he's not going to give you the easy clear. He still played it close to the side. You're going to have to try to sneak out around the corner to get around him. But Space Station retained possession regardless of who's touching the ball in the Peeps right now. And Typical can't really win against AJ. Reynolds pulling off, trying to force AJ to bite on the challenge. But it was enough time for Aleutian to get set for the Peeps on the flip, but Gyro can't find the challenge, and no play for the Peeps.
Space Station have had for a while now 10 shots to the 0 of the Peeps so far here in game 1. And Peeps have had opportunity, but I don't think they've really generated the shot on frame, while Space Station certainly have, and 7 saves from the Peeps definitely shows the difference. Here's another shot from Typical. Add another one to the tallies. The defense has to make the save, and they do so. Space Station, though, looking very similar to G2 as of the last game, where they keep their opposition wrapped up in their own half, and it's very tough for them to break out, whether it's possession or the boost game. The Peeps trying to hold on here. It's only a 1-goal difference.
Isn't looking too bad either. I mean, they've collected some boost, but you got to win that 50 against Arsenal, and he wins 2 of them right on top of Aleutian. Gyro waits on the back wall for it, gave Reynolds a chance. He got by him, but nothing developed there for Space Station. And Gyro actually found the ball, forcing Arsenal to get it out to the corner, and he comes back out around again. But the challenge for the Peeps, strong enough to buy time, but you saw Gyro creeping up. He was forced back again as soon as he saw the passing play in front, and no bite from Space Station as Arsenal just carries the ball and will let the rest of the Peeps fly into him. Space Station ball again. Still only 1 shot from the Peeps. Here's Gyro. There's nothing for him there. And now Space Station are getting harassed by Gyro in net, but it doesn't really matter when Typical just carries the ball himself down the field. Illusion wrapping it around, but this is about where it dies for the Peeps. Typical actually losing that touch against AJ. Didn't matter though, again, anything the Peeps would get as far as a win on a 50 or any kind of passing play, Space Station are immediately on top of it. They haven't overcommitted. They've played pretty relaxed for the most part, though. That first and second man like to play close together, but Space Station, they don't overcommit, and they play a close but clean game one against the Peeps.
There you go. Yeah, they do. And like you said, close but clean from Space Station. You don't have to blow out a team to have a solid win over them, and I think this is a very solid win for Space Station here, at least in game one. The Peeps did finally generate a single shot, but 12 shots for Space Station definitely tells a different story here. So for the Peeps, it is about generating a little bit more of a dangerous chance when you move downfield. I thought the Peeps actually played pretty much as well as you could here in the first game against Space Station, but it was very apparent that Space Station could play their own game here in game one.
Just couldn't, like I said, I felt like there were times for the Peeps where they would get set on offense, but then it always came down to them having to either win a 50 in the corner or chase down a challenge after Space Station had caught the ball. And, you know, that forces you to deplete your boost. Then you got to rotate back when you can't get to the challenge, or it was just a poor 50 in general. So that really wasn't working on offense for the Peeps. They have to find a way to get creative and start creating more space, because they were getting boosts. Like they were stealing some boosts from Space Station. It was nothing crazy, obviously. Like I felt that wasn't completely lopsided. Just Space Station superior positionally. Right.
Yeah, I think so. But the Peeps are going to go 1 for 1 here right in the first 12 seconds as they get on the board from a shot from Gyro.
That works out well. Arsenal got he got scooped out of the net. Literally, he got pushed to the back, rolled up the side of it the whole way, getting carried by I think it was Illusion out of the net. So if you're ever going to get on the board finally, that's certainly one way to do it. A good start for the Peeps.
Absolutely, and a start very much welcomed. Here's maybe a second goal. Gyro couldn't catch up to that ball. That one was hit pretty hard across the box, but it was a good play from the Peeps. Here comes Space Station Gaming. Do they have their first attempt? Reddles did have a flip there, but just used it to land instead, and the Peeps very well set up to defend.
Ooh, nice by AJ to get to that ball quickly. He found Illusion, pretty much handed it to him on the top of his car. But nothing too scary against Space Station. Typical and Arsenal, both just trying to keep this ball locked in, but there hasn't really been a hole that they've been able to crack through on the Peeps just yet.
Ooh, good bump on Illusion. Typical in a 1v1. Gyro was backwards. Great defense, especially backwards from Gyro. You know what you're up against when Typical's got you in a 1v1, and to be able to stand him up like that, facing the wrong direction, is a job well done.
And again, Arsenal winning that ball against Illusion. Now Space Station are just trying to play that ball, that first touch, get it fast over that first Peeps defender, and then hopefully they have enough boost to get back to it, either make the 50 happen or you get a clean pass out to your teammate. The difference is they're not winning that follow-up touch, or they're not getting to it at all. Peeps have done a great job clamping that ball down and trapping it away from Space Station, but Space Station seem to always find their way back to this ball. Despite Peeps looking a little better, Space Station grab it. Typical! How do you defend that? The only way you get out is if he misses.
And he did, and that was a fortunate situation for the Peeps. That was well placed from Typical to play that away. Both defenders. Here's Arsenal on the shot. Gyro gets in front of it, and Gyro again having to put it over his own bar. Here's Typical, back post shot again. It's off the crossbar, and AJ there to clear it away.
I have to say, I don't know how the Peeps didn't get scored on there. They got two of their defenders were getting tied up in net, and Illusion was still recovering, trying to get back to that ball. But if it's actually on target, that's a Space Station goal. So you Peeps, you take the gifts when it's given to you, and still the gifts keep on giving for the Peeps. The fourth man coming up big. Space Station can't find the back of the net.
The Peeps are able to break out here, see what they can do with it. Again, feeling a lot of the pressure here in game two, but they are leading. Space Station still haven't been able to crack the defense. Peeps would love to get a cushion here. A couple demos come out, one for each team. And Arsenal trying to dish it off to Typical, trying to get the fake on Gyro. But you can see the poise of the Peeps doing a good job of at least staying in front of a lot of these chances. And they'll stay alive for the moment.
Still a good job on the back wall. It's Arsenal just keeping Space Station in the blue half, if you will. Nothing really developed out of it, but it's midfield boost for Space Station, and it's another air dribble for Arsenal. He does get it by AJ. Reddles hopping up next. Typical's going to stay on the ground here. He knows Reddles got the pass to him. So patient, Typical, not trying to rush it, and Reddles delivers a beauty.
Great challenge from Reddles, and then the follow-up, the dish down to Typical at the top of the box. Everything went so well from the initial touch to the pass from Reddles. The plan was executed perfectly there. He knew if he had won that challenge, he'd have a good opportunity to set up his teammate there. And you know Typical is going to be camping the top of the box, ready for any pass. And he was. And Space Station finally break the defense of the Peeps.
That was a quick recovery by Arsenal off the corner to get back to that challenge, but it's still Peeps' ball. Illusion almost snuck it through. That was a tight window. Gyro will collect that boost. Midfield boost and that corner boost belong to the Peeps. That's going to make it a pretty strong push possible on the right side, but they couldn't really get anything going. It died as soon as that ball got too high, and Reddles did a good job cleaning up on defense for Space Station. And that's been really the name of the game for Space Station overall. They prevented a lot of shots from the Peeps from coming through, but it's been a little better for the Peeps. Rather than one shot, they've got 300% more. So they got 3, but it's still 9 from Space Station. So despite hanging on to that 1-goal lead for as long as they did, they still can't generate consistent pressure. A demo opens up a little bit of space, and a whiff from Arsenal, which you certainly might not have expected. But still, the Peeps hunting for another goal as time is running out in regulation. Typical quick pop saved by AJ.
10 seconds left. Space Station, they're going to take a late lead here. Like you said, Corby, put up a lot of shots. They're up to 10 now. It's going to be on Arsenal down to Typical. Couldn't get by AJ. Arsenal's going to give it one last go as Gyro very carefully drops this one down, and into overtime we go for game 2.
Right on the kickoff. It's favorable for Gyro as he cheated up. And now the Peeps have a chance to lock down the corners. But Arsenal, it's very rare seeing Arsenal lose in his own corner. He's just he's like a sinuous wave when he goes around. It makes it so hard to read. It's like, is he going to go up or down? And he's just consistently difficult to win a 50 against in that particular spot. Maybe any particular spot. But now Peeps are playing defense again. That was a tight angle shot. Gyro launched it back to Space Station territory.
Typical wanted the 1v1 there. Went straight into Gyro. Reddle's going to pick this one up. The Peeps a bit caught out here. Reddles might take it all the way. AJ does catch back up to it. Very dangerous situation, though, for the Peeps. They let that air dribble go on for quite some time. And you thought maybe Reddles could knock it down here. It's Typical to put it away. It's a big save from AJ at the top of the bar there. And still the Peeps trying to hang on, and they do here as we are just over a minute in overtime.
Wow. Well, Typical just got his nose right under that ball against his defender, and now AJ will take the ball back. Ground hop, air dribble, double maybe? No, he's a little too close to it. That was going to be difficult, but Gyro finds the next touch. They're testing Space Station on the backboard, but now they're going to wait as Arsenal drops it straight down. Gyro causing chaos in front of the box of Space Station. AJ trying to screen the ball across. Illusion gets to the touch, but late. Gyro next up for the Peeps. He uses the rest of his boots to hopefully get a bump or two, but the Peeps have to continue. Illusion throwing it up for AJ, and AJ sneaks it to the top corner. The Peeps grab game 2 for a victory.
Right, first touch here from Illusion to set himself up for a lot of options. That wasn't even his only option there. He could have gone down as well, or at least gotten the bump, but a great pass to the back post. AJ did well to track it all the way across and put it in the end. The Peeps hang on here in game 2.
And despite the plethora of shots from Space Station, I do feel like they came in bunches, Corelli, not from consistent presence in Peeps territory. I felt like that was the main difference for the Peeps. While And now I'm saying that out loud, but then I just remembered halfway through that game, Space Station hit the crossbar, and the post like 4 or 5 times, and then it died after that. So Space Station definitely had opportunities. And say what you want, Peeps, they covered a lot of options. They forced Space Station to score at the top of the net, but Space Station are the team. You have the expectation they hit those holes, and they didn't. So, but the Peeps took advantage of that. It's like kind of a flip almost of the first game.
Yeah, no, it almost was. And to your point, though, what you're saying about Space Station especially, I mean, they had the opportunity to really run up the score here, or at least get themselves 2-3 goals, and they couldn't. I mean, there were a lot of hard shots, especially from Sipical to hit, right? Those back post shots are very tough when you got 2 defenders in front of you, but I mean, those are the chances that you're getting, and you got to put something away, and that was really the difference maker. Not to say that Space Station played poorly in that game. I thought they played quite well. In fact, I don't think there's a lot to criticize from either team at the moment. The Peeps sure are playing a lot of defense, but it does feel like they're keeping up the pace here with Space Station and certainly doing the dance with them.
Yeah, I certainly agree in game 2. Like no one team had a clear advantage, even on the shot differential, just because I just chalk that up to non-consistent pressure. Peeps, non-consistent, creating new words all the time. It's inconsistent. As Lucian grabs it here. Yeah, I get one wrong every now and then. Gyro just staying with that ball as long as possible. But Space Station getting bumped a lot. Gyro has gone more and more to the physical game ever since game 2 started. He's hunting the goal line for a bump or a demo every single time he's downfield. Now he's forced into retreat. AJ left in net. He's going to crawl up the back wall and hopefully find his teammate Lucian, and no clear just yet, but Gyro's got a clean look. Chasing it quickly is Lucian. But just nothing really develops past that midfield line, and Space Station grabbed the ball again. Maybe a breakaway for AJ. Gyro gonna play right behind him as second man, and now he's gonna have to wait for Arsenal. Waiting seemed to be the best option. Space Station forced back into their corner.
Doing a good job, not just throwing bodies at the ball, but seeing what Space Station does with it and then reacting, especially when Space Station are on the defensive side of things. So that shot goes wide for Gyro, and Space Station having to break out. And they finally do here with Reddles beating the first defender over to Sipical under AJ, and Lucian, the last man, does make the save.
Gyro no boost, just trying to get that ball a little farther away. Couldn't do it. Peeps another air dribble attempt for a clear. The 50 doesn't really go their way. Gyro gets a quick touch in midfield, and if AJ could have made contact, that's a Peeps goal. Gyro does make contact, but Reddles meets him on the save. Well, it's definitely been a return again to just both teams not wanting to, they don't want to commit too much. They're trying to find that one hole and maybe slowing it down. You can see the mind games on a lot of these carries where the slowdowns, I want you to come here and force this challenge into me and make a bad touch so we can get back on offense. Who's going to win that mind game eventually? Because the levels start getting deeper. As time goes on, it's still 0-0. You haven't had the opportunities you've wanted. Both teams playing really good defense, Corelli. I haven't really seen a lot of holes, but Arsenal paves the way and drills one through the Peeps net.
Well, if you're the man to look, or you look for a man to do it, it's going to be Arsenal. A great pinch as he lands on it, and he got fortunate and came off the crossbar right back into it. He had no more boost to react to anything else, but he'll take it. The defense, that's tough to defend. I don't care who you are, and Arsenal does well to generate that chance for Space Station as they go up 1-0.
Well, maybe the Peeps can respond quickly off the kickoff. Lucian hoping for a 50, but he doesn't get one. Well, Arsenal got back to his touch quick, expected a challenge from AJ, and AJ's patience rewards him with an air dribble. Flip reset. He couldn't find it, but it almost gave him a goal anyway. And Gyro snuck a shot, but it was too light. Back downfield, the Peeps, that was 2 good looks at the net, but nothing too crazy for Space Station to handle.
Been a very low scoring affair here in these couple of games, and it does feel like that first team to crap could be really the difference as demos are coming out left and right. Arsenal, of course, will be the one to distribute them for Space Station, but the Peeps got to know with a minute left, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity for either side. That could be the difference, and Rebels makes it 2 for Space Station.
And the big win on the challenge for Arsenal, Aleutian. You know, it would have been pretty good for Gyro had Reddles not already been up for that. Speedy back to that ball, and the speed is the difference on that challenge. Space Station. Now, to say that insurance is huge would certainly be correct. Goals have been in a premium. Both defenses have played fairly well, but Space Station getting the last laugh on the last couple of shot opportunities. Quick pass, but AJ hopped the route pretty quick. It's nothing developing for the Peeps. They have many more shots on net this time, 6. They've been matched by Space Station. Every pass they attempt, typical or someone else on Space Station is there to cut it off. Just not a lot of options, a lot of hope for the Peeps. They go for some of these challenges. They'll get a shot like that, but it's not good enough to get by Reddles. And out to the side again. Granted, Space Station, they've had to employ demos to actually get by the Peeps defense, and that's been the X factor in game number 3 as time runs out and Space Station take things to match point.
And again, very close game. Those 2 goals coming at the end of this game. It feels like that first goal is just so much for either team. This time, Space Station on the better half of things. And the Peeps, like you said, Jorby, they did generate a lot more shots here. They weren't able to convert. And for the Peeps, there was a lot of solo plays as well, where I felt like they were good solo plays. They just didn't work out, right? Like there was a couple flip resets that I saw from AJ. Aleutian had opportunities to set people up, but he didn't have enough boost. So that was really, for the Peeps, I think the biggest difference maker is that opportunity was there. They just weren't able to execute it when they needed it the most.
And give Space Station credit on defense. They've made it difficult for the Peeps to find any kind of consistency on offense when the options are covered, and every time you do get a pass out or you're trying to develop a pass, the infield passes have been easily defended by Space Station for the most part. So the Peeps have been forced to air dribble the ball, try to force a 50 in the corner, maybe get a cheeky fake. It hasn't worked out for them more than it's worked for Space Station, where again, like the couple of infield passing plays that they attempted, they either got demoed or it was just cut off. So where does that leave the Peeps in game 4? How do they break through Space Station and take this match to game 5? Well, Space Station start off with Reddles on the defense. Slow start here in the corner. Gyro are peeling Arsenal off the ball. It may be the physical game that the Peeps have to go right back to, just like Space Station. But only time will tell as the game unfolds. Arsenal won't get anything here reciprocal.
You can kind of talk about the mental game as well, and I don't think the morale is low for the Peeps, but for Space Station, this is a very comfortable position that they've been in the last regional, in this regional, in former grids. I mean, they are used to being up in these series, and these are big-time series here, playing against quality teams. It's a very comfortable position that Space Station are sitting in at the moment.
Reynolds has a long ball in the air, and the flip reset gave him a hard bounce off the back wall. Just a little too tight for anyone to follow up. Hard pass from Sipical. This time the Peeps cut off the pass, but nobody's there to follow it up, so Arsenal gets the shot, and when he gets it that free in the third, good luck stopping him.
Oh, double commit from Aleutian and Gyro, and that ball is just uncontested for Arsenal. He didn't have boost, but he had all of the world to line it up, and it was perfectly placed from Arsenal. That's tough to defend at that point. A free shot at the top of the box is not what you want to give to a team like Space Station.
And Corelli, you were talking about how the first goal means everything in this match. It has so far. Where does this leave the Peeps now? If they can get down the field, if they can equalize quickly, and maybe you get that itch out of the back of your brain and you don't feel like you have to force too many opportunities. AJ plays this slow. Still wants to get the catch. He got it. That's good for Aleutian, but he couldn't get around the ball. He had a good look at it, and he had the time, but just couldn't get around it for a solid shot on net.
Again, Space Station able to break out quite easily, and they're finding this backboard a couple times here against the Peeps as chaos ensues in the box. It's able to break, or the Peeps are able to at least break it up. But a lot of time here for Space Station to set things up. Arsenal, not a lot of boost. That challenge came in quite late from Illusion. If Arsenal had boost, he could have made something happen. Here's Typical, trying to work his magic in the corner. Gets by one, just has AJ in front of him, looking for options. Nobody's there. Arsenal late, but the shot is just wide. Nice. And Gyro there to clear it out.
That was good from Gyro to get that carry out. He just couldn't stick with it at the very end, but it was enough to get the Peeps set up in midfield. And then the ball taken away by Arsenal, who has had himself quite a series. He picks up the demo. Reynolds had a look, and Gyro takes it away. Gyro maybe starting to heat up. If he can start translating that on offense, the Peeps can be looking at a tie game. Instead, they're looking at Reynolds, dumping that out to the corner. He didn't like the look. And nothing developing here for the Peeps. Just when you think they can finally get some leeway on offense, it just feels like they're reacting to Space Station when they finally do get on offense. It's like, okay, where are they? Where can we now go with the ball? And slowing it down, trying to force the ball up to the side. Because even there, I mean, that was a light opportunity. AJ, he's got the catch. Can he get back under it again? He makes the challenge happen, but Arsenal can't grab the ball. Illusion is saved by Typical. AJ wrapping back around. Can Illusion turn around for this? Typical grabs the ball at the last possible second. Gyro coming in. It's a tight rotation for the Peeps, but the boomer from Space Station relieves the pressure. Peeps come up empty. AJ having to pick up a save. Can Illusion have a quick breakaway? He's got Gyro on the wing. There's one win off the back wall. It's taken away again by Arsenal, but that bounce was for AJ. Nothing's going to develop here for the Peeps. Typical's just going to wait, and he'll get the ball.
Wow, the pace really picking up for the Peeps here, and opportunity is there. Gyro couldn't get the pass down to AJ, but you can see the Peeps definitely have an idea of where they want to move that ball, or how they want to move the ball down the field, rather, and Space Station, they let him get away with it as well. Here's another pass. Illusion's there. It's going to be dangerous. But it could be the last effort for the Peeps. That right side shot. It's AJ to tie it up with 38 seconds left.
AJ sneaks this in. It comes off a big win from Illusion. Arsenal, he goes for the hard touch, but Reynolds was getting harassed, so he was never going to be able to follow up that touch, which left all of the attacking third open for AJ to shoot at, and he found his mark late here in this game. Now the Peeps have life. Can it be enough to swing? We'll find out. Typical tries to close down against Reynolds. Illusion got a big demo. Gives AJ some space. One bounce, two, but no! It is out off the crossbar. Gyro almost snuck it through, and Illusion does it! Drills it to the side! The Peeps have stolen the lead!
And I don't even know how they got away with this. The defense from Space Station were all lined up, but they didn't have a lot of boost to work with. In fact, nothing. Nothing for Space Station. And a 2-1 lead now for the Peeps.
Space Station maybe a bit rattled after two quick goals from the Peeps. And now they've heated up high off the backboard. One more chance for Typical and company. Gyro's got to play it out to the corner. Space Station want one more chance at this, and it's a quick ball for Arsenal. Reynolds waits.
Backflip.
He's got the shot, but it's off the crossbar. Arsenal's there, pops it again. Can Illusion get the clear? Reynolds waits along the ramp. He grabs one touch, but they can't get there in time, and the Peeps survive for a game 5.
Wow, what a gift for the Peeps, and well earned, rather. It's not really a gift. It was well earned in that last goal. They got Space Station turning their backs a couple times there and then took advantage of the moment when they ran out of boost. It was well played to stick with it. And for the Peeps, this was a tough game to come out, especially from behind, and take down Space Station and force a game 5.
Yeah, that was a really good series of opportunities. And it obviously forced Space Station into that situation where Arsenal, he wants the hard clear out to the corner. He's expecting a teammate to be there to follow it up on the clear. A teammate gets bumped out of the way, and it's a free shot for the Peeps. And then how do they respond to that? Well, it was just, classic oppressive offense. You took all the boost. Space Station have nothing in the tank, so they're just going throttle and then revert. They forward and back on the throttle, trying to find a way to the ball. It just couldn't happen when you got no boost like that.
And to lose like that hurts for Space Station. I was talking about how they probably feel very comfortable in the lead as they were coming into that last game. Now the way they lost that last game definitely doesn't help as they move into game 5.
No, Space Station, they're one of the most resilient teams in North America, if not the most resilient, even within a game. But the Peeps are no slouch, obviously, so this one might go the full 5 minutes before we know for sure who comes away the victor. But it's gotten real interesting in Champions Field. You know, many times it delivers quality matches. Maybe it gives us a good one here. Arsenal will try to drill another one through. Reddles will pick up a demo on Illusion. And Space Station, they want to play aggressive. Arsenal, he's playing a close second man. The challenge was not his to grab. Reddles was forced back for a quick play out. Now Arsenal, another catch. That was a good catch and flick by Arsenal. He had Typical behind him as well. And feels like Space Station are just managing right now. Don't really have any sort of option against the Peeps.
It does feel like the Peeps are carrying over that speed that we saw at the end of the last game. I feel like that's really where we saw the Peeps shine. I hadn't seen that speed for most of the series, but here they come again. AJ has been so threatening with the air dribble. Gets over one, and the Space Station defense there to clear it out.
He really has been devastating with the air dribbles. A lot of them put the Peeps in positions to steal that game away from Space Station. But as soon as Space Station start getting a look at AJ, it's going to be tough to find a way through. They blocked his last attempt at it, and he's going to keep this close. This is just to make sure it doesn't fall right back into Typical's car. The Peeps in a tough spot here along the back wall. Very tight rotation. Gyro coming in near post. They're going to let that slide as it just screened across the goal line.
Well, the issue is for the Peeps, they don't have a lot of boost, so you're seeing a lot of these balls being played straight back in to a Space Station player, because that's really the only option that a Peeps defender has with no momentum behind the ball. Arsenal with a second touch, turned away by Gyro.
Reddles, he has Typical coming up pretty quickly, who will grab that ball from AJ, but AJ, an excellent job staying right on top of this. He'll get right by Arsenal, almost sank it in the corner. Tough to hit, but Illusion gives him another chance, and it slips by, but Gyro punches through the Peeps. That's 3 unanswered.
Great setup from the Peeps as well. Beautiful pass from Illusion. He really has been the man to be so selfless in the final third, and he won't get credit there for the assist. AJ will in the end is on the shot that was blocked. But the Peeps wonderfully set up there, and it all started with Illusion's pass.
Reddles and Arsenal connect. Space Station very quick there. Typical was ready to put that back in the net. He jumped from beyond the midfield line for it. Reddles gets another challenge win, but that will die for Space Station. Typical actually gives a chance to Arsenal. Called that play dead too early, never mind. AJ trying to carry the ball out. He's taken away by Reddles. And the Peeps, despite how precarious it might have looked, they get out of their own half and maybe set something up. But Space Station, they're pretty wide set on this rotation. Arsenal will let that drop in front. Might have been the best option for him because AJ was ready to cut off either pass. Now Typical just sits behind the ball, gives Reddles a chance. Now Arsenal plays it slow. He looked for the read. He got it. Can there be a shot though? Space Station, everyone else retreated to midfield, expecting that clear, and nothing just yet for Space Station, but it shows you why they can be so difficult to read.
That was a great block by Arsenal. He's doing a lot of what AJ's doing for the Peeps, and that's just the individual disruption that he presents to a defense. It's just so tough for them to deal with. And Typical, you want to talk about individual, how about you just carry this one into the net?
You know, AJ just couldn't find the cut on the pass, and Illusion was still rotating back. He had no boost. He used all of his boost to get just behind where he needed to be, and Typical took advantage of it with that quick pop, knowing he had Illusion in pretty much the perfect spot where you want to be for a pop like that. Quick tie game, but Illusion grabbing this ball, he doesn't have a lot of boost to follow, so he'll play the corner, and the Peeps will hope to trap Space Station in their own half.
Again, another low-scoring affair here. The next goal could be the last, whoever it may be. It's been very tight between these two teams, and I think that might have been the expectation for some people, but I think the Peeps know exactly who they're going up against here in Space Station, and they know what type of series they were getting themselves into here, and Game 5 is certainly no surprise.
AJ grabbing the rebound before it could come. And another carry. Reddles will just bump one player out of the way, and does Typical score here? No! What? Oh, the big cut! So Typical and I think it was Illusion bumped into each other. It kicked the ball over an inch, which took it away from Arsenal. That would have been a Space Station goal. But instead, they're going to have to try again. They do retain possession here, but Typical's got to use a lot of boost to get back to his touch. And AJ gets over one attacker. The Peeps gonna have to play perfect defense on this play. Reynolds screening the net for a bump or a demo. Illusion getting out. He gets kicked out of the way by Reynolds again. Arsenal back to Reynolds. He's got the catch. Tried to flick it. No, he went under. Gyro had the save, but Arsenal kept it in front. Typical. Where's he gonna go with it if he can grab it? Low on the ramp. Reynolds is there. No goal. Illusion locked down the angle, but a quick turn for Arsenal. He grabs 2 touches. Reynolds grabbing every pad he can to get set. They're just gonna let it drop. No way. They don't want to risk it.
I still can't believe that save from Gyro. The ball came off his head, and then somehow he just squeaks out of his own goal line. And that's what's kept the Peeps in it here. See if they can hang on going into overtime.
It may come down to 150. AJ gets a couple of crucial touches, sets up Illusion in midfield. Now AJ back behind the ball. Couldn't get a clean grab on it. Gyro can't get back to the ball against Typical. AJ got a demo on the backside. That's just going to put Reynolds right in the spot to put it, well, I guess back into AJ's hands. He's forced back on defense. Gyro wants to hunt for it. They want to carry this ball, Space Station, but Typical, the ball popped off the top of his hood. Illusion just trying to keep it away from Arsenal. He'll collect that boost. That's fine for him. Space Station, aggressive positioning on offense. Harassing
Gyro
in the net was Reynolds. Gyro avoiding Reynolds, which would have been devastating for the Peeps. Still not over. Arsenal makes life difficult in the corner.
Gyro is keeping the Peeps in this game, but for how long? And he can't make that save. It's Reynolds in Game 5 for Space Station Gaming.
That was a powerful shot from Reynolds. Illusion trying to fight off Typical for the ball, was expecting some sort of challenge, but Typical just runs away and is laughing because he knew that that ball was going to be dumped right into Reynolds. What a clean shot. And Space Station get out of what was a methodical, slow, and calculating game from both sides.
That was a tough series, again, from both teams. And that last shot, I was just mentioning how Gyro was keeping the Peeps into it, and he definitely was in this series. How many saves does he have to be called upon to finally let one in? I don't blame him. It's so tough to block so many of those shots from Space Station, but hats off to the Peeps. This was well played from them and a very tough opponent in Space Station Gaming. And of course, I think we expected Space Station to come out and take care of business. Game 5, it took them a little bit longer, but boy, Peeps really gave them a run for their money.
And the Peeps, their run's not over yet. They'll have to move on to the next round to try to cement their spot in the top 8. Our final round of matches coming up after the break. You don't want to go anywhere. Who makes it to the top 8? We'll be back.